Hey. It's time for another amazing story from Cheating Reality. Here's the thing about quiet people. They observe, they wait, and when they finally take action, they make sure it matters. Today in Cheating Reality, secrets don't stay hidden, especially when you keep adding fuel to the fire. She thought she could outsmart me, but I completely destroyed her little game. My girlfriend and I had been together for 7 years, married for 4. We had moved into a new apartment in a decent city some time ago, thinking it would be a fresh beginning. The place was nice, 2 bedrooms, a balcony, and a good location. We shared a joint savings account that we had been contributing to for years, planning to use it one day for a big international trip. Everyone believed we had it all figured out. People would joke about how we were the couple that never argued, always in sync. I believed that too until everything started falling apart. As time passed, I began to notice that things didn't feel right. She used to share everything with me. Simple things like what she had for lunch or if she saw a funny dog on the way home. But then she stopped. She'd come home and barely say a word, going straight to her phone. When I asked about her day, she'd give short answers or just shrug. Felt like I was living with a stranger. I tried to ignore it at first, thinking maybe she was under stress, but the situation kept getting worse. Her phone became her everything. She would instantly lock it when I entered the room. She began taking phone calls in another room and would close the door behind her. I knew something was wrong. She had never acted like this before. Then came the late nights. She would arrive home hours later than she said she would, claiming she had errands to run or friends to meet. One night, she didn't even bother with an excuse. Just walked in at 10 p.m. like nothing was unusual. The final breaking point came when one of my close friends pulled me aside. He looked uneasy, like he didn't want to be the one to tell me. He said he had overheard her on the phone at a nearby coffee shop a few days earlier. She was laughing and talking about keeping something a secret, and mentioned a guy named Ryan. He didn't want to make assumptions but felt I deserved to know. My stomach sank. I thanked him and acted calm, but inside I was furious. I began watching her more closely, and noticed she started dressing up extra for these so-called errands, wearing new perfume, tighter outfits, the whole deal. One evening, she came home and I could clearly smell cologne on her. And it definitely wasn't mine. I didn't say anything. I just kept it in the back of my mind. I needed solid proof before taking action. Then I got the opportunity. She left her laptop open. I clicked into her email. She hadn't logged out. Probably didn't think I'd ever look. And there it was. A message thread with some guy named Ryan. Flirty text. Plans to meet at a bar. A hotel receipt from just a week ago. My hands were shaking. I took screenshots of everything. Emailed it to myself. Logged out before she got back home. I didn't want her to know that I knew. Not yet. I waited a couple of days while preparing my next move. She came home late again, this time with some poorly made-up excuse about helping a friend. That was it. I had reached my limit. I printed out the screenshots and laid them across the kitchen table like evidence at a crime scene. When she walked in, I told her we needed to talk. She saw the papers and froze. I asked her who Ryan was. She pretended to be confused, saying he was just a friend and that I was overreacting. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "You're really going to lie to my face? I've got your emails, the hotel receipts. You're not fooling anyone." She got defensive, saying I had no right to go through her things. I told her she gave up that right the moment she started sneaking around behind my back. She tried to turn it on me, saying I was controlling and didn't trust her. But I wasn't having it. I told her she had 1 hour to pack a bag and leave. She began crying, saying it was a mistake, that it didn't mean anything. I didn't care. I told her I wasn't interested in hearing excuses and pointed to the door. She moved slowly, still trying to change my mind, saying we could fix this. I told her there was no more we. She broke that the moment she chose to cheat. She packed a bag while continuing to guilt-trip me, saying I was throwing away 7 years for nothing. That made me the angriest. She had the nerve to act like I was the one ruining everything, when she was the one being unfaithful. I told her she didn't get to play the victim. She made her decision, and now she had to live with it. She left, saying she'd stay at a friend's place. I didn't care where she went, as long as it wasn't here. The next morning I contacted a divorce lawyer. I met with the lawyer that afternoon, brought him the screenshots, and explained everything in detail. He was honest with me and said we needed to protect my assets before she tried anything sneaky. I told him about the joint savings account that we had both been adding money to for years. He recommended freezing it so she wouldn't be able to access the funds while we worked things out. I agreed and gave him the go-ahead. Then I sent her a text letting her know that divorce papers were on the way and she needed to find another place to stay. She replied saying I was being heartless, that I didn't even give her a chance to explain. I sent just one message back. "You said enough when you booked a hotel with Ryan. We're done." Then I blocked her number. The apartment was under my name, so I didn't have to worry about her coming back, but I changed the locks anyway, just to be safe. She had a few clothes and other small things left behind, so I packed everything up and placed it in a storage unit. I texted her the access code and told her not to come back to the apartment. If she did, I'd call the police. A few days later, I met with the lawyer again. He had the divorce papers ready and advised we file for divorce on the grounds of infidelity. He also suggested hiring a forensic accountant to review our financial records. I told him to do whatever was necessary. She kept trying to reach me using different phone numbers. She even had one of her friends call me, saying she was falling apart, crying non-stop, and that I should at least listen to her. I told her friend that I had already heard enough lies. The last time we spoke, she spent half the conversation making excuses and the other half trying to make it seem like I was the villain. I can't wait until she's completely out of my life. The way she slowly started shutting me out, that's what hurt the most. When someone you've shared your entire life with suddenly acts like just a roommate who's annoyed by your presence, it hits you hard. And then she tried to pull the classic "you're being controlling" line, when she was the one sneaking around behind my back. Well, not a chance. Musical note. Music. Musical note. Date. Not long ago, I shared a post about discovering that my soon-to-be ex-wife was cheating on me with a guy named Ryan, and how I kicked her out after finding solid proof in her emails. Musical note. Music. Musical note. I began the divorce process and made sure to secure my finances. After she was out of the apartment, my lawyer began investigating our financial situation to make sure everything was in order for the divorce. Then he gave me a call. He had found something suspicious. Turns out, she had opened a separate savings account at another bank, one I didn't even know existed, and it had a good chunk of money in it, around $10,000. From what he could see, she had been secretly transferring money into that account for months, probably thinking she could hide it once we separated. We had been saving together for years, and while we built something together, she was busy setting herself up to walk away and leave me in the dark, all while having an affair with Ryan. My lawyer said the fact that she hadn't disclosed that account was a serious issue, and it could seriously damage her case in court. I told him to go ahead and use it against her. Then I decided to hit her where it would really hurt, her reputation. She'd been playing the victim, crying to anyone who would listen, trying to make it seem like I was the villain for ending the relationship. So I put together a folder with all the proof, screenshots of her emails, the hotel receipt, and a short summary of the affair. Then I sent it out anonymously to some of Ryan's friends and family, people whose contact info I found online. It wasn't that hard to track them down. A few days later, my buddy told me that her name was basically trash among Ryan's circle. People stopped talking to her, and even Ryan started ignoring her completely, probably because he didn't want to deal with all the drama. When we went to the next court hearing, my lawyer came fully prepared. He presented the evidence of her secret bank account, clearly showing that she had been quietly moving money without telling anyone. She tried to twist the story, saying it was just for personal expenses, and that she didn't think it was important. The judge ordered her account to be frozen until they could figure out what was considered marital property. She looked like she'd been punched in the stomach. After the hearing, she tried calling me from a new phone number. I have no idea how she got it, but she sounded desperate. She begged me to speak to my lawyer and ask the court to release the money in her account. She said she was broke, staying at a friend's house, and struggling to manage. "Why would I help you?" I asked her. She began crying, saying she never meant to hurt me and that she just needed a way out. I told her she should have thought about that before she chose to be dishonest. Then she tried to turn the blame on me, saying I was being heartless and destroying her life. I cut her off and told her she had done that to herself the moment she chose her affair partner over our marriage. Then I ended the call and blocked her number. That call only made me more determined. My lawyer explained that hiding the account wasn't just shady, it was actually considered perjury, because she failed to disclose it during the divorce process. He said this could seriously damage her chances of receiving anything in the final settlement. I told him to take it as far as he could to make sure she didn't try pulling any more tricks. I also contacted our bank and got our joint savings account frozen. Neither of us could access it until the court made a final decision. Meanwhile, I had my personal savings fully declared and legally protected. So, I was doing fine. But I knew she was counting on that joint savings account to survive, especially since her secret one had been frozen. When I told her about the freeze, she lost it. She called me, yelling that I was trying to ruin her and that it wasn't fair. She threw some insults my way, but I just laughed and hung up. The divorce process continued moving forward, and my lawyer was confident that we had her cornered. That hidden bank account changed everything. I also made sure to keep her completely out of my life. She tried to reach me through mutual contacts, like one of her friends, who messaged me saying she was struggling and just wanted to talk. I replied that I wasn't her therapist and told them to stop messaging me. To make things worse for her, my friend told me that Ryan had completely disappeared from her life. Apparently, after I sent the proof to his friends and family, he didn't want anything more to do with her. She was left with no boyfriend, no money, and no one to turn to. The court is still finalizing everything. But the evidence, her affair and her secret account, is solid. The judge isn't going to go easy on her. I'm making sure every step of this divorce is legally secure, so she can't escape the consequences. I'll share another update once there's more to report. Thanks again to everyone who supported me after my last post. It meant a lot to see people backing me up. That hidden account, that was next level betrayal. She was planning her exit strategy behind my back, thinking I'd just sit quietly while she drained our joint savings and ran off with Ryan. But the joke's on her. Ryan disappeared the moment things got complicated. Now she's left with nothing, broke and alone. Don't let her guilt-tripping get to you. She made her choices and was fully prepared to leave me behind, until the consequences caught up with her. I'm just protecting myself and what's rightfully mine. Date. It's been a while since my last post. The divorce has been a long, exhausting process, but it's finally over. And let me tell you, she didn't walk away from this looking good. She tried every trick in the book to avoid the consequences, but I made sure she faced them. Here's how everything wrapped up. After the court froze her hidden account, things moved quickly. My lawyer kept me informed, saying her failure to disclose that $10,000 was a major mistake on her part. We pushed hard to ensure she didn't get away with it. The divorce hearings were intense. She kept trying to twist the narrative, acting like she was the victim. Then came the final court date. My lawyer laid everything out, the emails that proved her affair, the hidden bank account, and clear signs she had been planning to deceive me for months. She tried to reuse the excuse that it was just personal savings, but the judge didn't buy it. He directly called her out for perjury, lying under oath. Her lawyer attempted to argue that some of the money belonged solely to her, but the evidence was too strong. The judge ruled that 75% of the hidden account was marital property, meaning I received $7,500 from it. As for our frozen joint account, the judge ordered it to be split 80/20ths in my favor due to her dishonesty. That gave me another $12,000 from what we had saved together. She walked away with only scraps, around $3,000 from both accounts combined. To make matters worse for her, she was fined $4,000 for lying to the court. Her lawyer even tried to argue for alimony, saying she needed support to get back on her feet. But my lawyer shut that down fast. He reminded the court she had a job and that her actions disqualified her from receiving anything. The judge agreed she got no spousal support. She also had to pay half of my legal fees, including the cost of uncovering her hidden account. That added another $3,000 she had to pay out of her own pocket. By the end, she was broke and furious. A few days after the divorce was finalized, she emailed me. I don't know why I even opened it. Maybe just curiosity about what she would try next. She said she was struggling to pay rent, crashing at a friend's place, and asked if I could lend her a little money to help her out, promising she'd pay it back. Unbelievable. You cheated, lied, and tried to steal from me. Figure it out yourself. I hit send and forwarded the email to my lawyer, just in case she tried anything else. I later heard from a friend that Ryan was completely out of the picture. Apparently, once I sent those screenshots to Ryan's friends, he vanished. He didn't want the baggage of being tied to her drama. She ended up with no boyfriend, no money, and a ruined reputation. My buddy told me even her friend, who she was staying with, started dropping hints that she needed to find her own place. Tough luck. I changed my phone number and locked down all my social media. She wasn't getting another chance to contact me. I heard through the grapevine that she had to move into a small, run-down studio apartment in a rough part of town. She was working extra hours just to keep the lights on. Eventually, even her friends told her to leave. I don't know all the details and I don't care. She thought she could lie to my face, cheat behind my back, and still walk away with an easy life. Instead, she's scraping by, while I walked away with what's rightfully mine. I won't lie, the divorce took a toll. It's not easy cutting someone out of your life after 7 years, especially when you thought you truly knew them. But I'm not wasting time feeling sorry for myself. I took my share of the money and leased a new car I'd been eyeing for a long time. I've been spending more time with my buddy and a few close friends, grabbing drinks, watching games, just enjoying my life again. It feels good to have peace without her lies clouding everything. She made one last attempt to reach me, left a voicemail on my friend's phone since she knew I had blocked her. She said I owed her for taking her savings and ruining her image. I told my friend to delete the message and not involve me in her drama. She's still trying to make this my fault, as if I'm the one who cheated and hid the money. It's pathetic. I told my lawyer about it, and he said if she keeps harassing me, we can file for a restraining order. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I'm ready if it does. To everyone who supported me throughout this journey, thank you. You kept me grounded when things felt overwhelming. I'll update if anything new happens, but for now I'm done with her and moving forward. She lost the right to my time and energy the moment she betrayed me. A new car, good friends, and a peaceful mind, that's a real rebound. I've earned every bit of this fresh start. And if she ever comes back with more drama, I've got the right people in my corner to shut it down fast. What would you do if you discovered your partner was secretly hiding money and building a new life behind your back? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for joining us today on Cheating Reality. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story. See you next time.